Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is a guide to Worqor Zormor from Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. In this dungeon, we climb to the top of the giant mountain in Urqopacha. Please like and subscribe. I'm releasing guides for every story dungeon and trial in the game, so you always know what's coming. Let's get started. The first boss here is Ryoqor Terteh. He opens with Frosting Fracas, which deals unavoidable damage to all players, and puts a permanent ring of AoE around the perimeter. Then he will cast Fluffle Up, in which 4 adds will appear with arrows indicating which way they are facing. All 4 will display rectangle AoEs after a few seconds. The boss will then cast Cold Feet on 2 of them. You should move to their AoE markers because Cold Feet will delay their blasts. Once the first one goes off, move into those spaces and wait for the delayed ones to hit. He will do the same Fluffle Up Cold Feet combo again, but this time the AoE will be in circular patterns. Again, you should move to the ones delayed by Cold Feet first, then get out after the first blast goes off. With Snow Scoop, 3 AoE patterns will occur and you'll have to react quickly. First, you will see line AoEs filling most of the floor in a clock pattern, move to the edge in a safe zone. Then, a second identical pattern will appear in all the safe places, and all players will additionally have spread apart markers. Wait for the first set of line AoEs to go off, then move into one of their safe spaces to wait out the second, while also avoiding other players. Late in the fight, you will see Fluffle Up and Cold Feet, where 8 adds appear at the same time, 4 doing rectangle AoEs, and 4 doing circular AoEs. As soon as you see Cold Feet, you should notice that most of the tethered adds have overlapping AoE, but one of them doesn't. Just run straight to the one that does not overlap and wait. Once the initial blast goes off, run into the safe space to wait out the second. The second boss is Kahderyor. A few seconds in, he will cast Wind Unbound, which deals unavoidable damage to all players. Just heal through it. Then he does Crystalline Crush, which puts a stack marker on one player and a tower appears. All players should stack on the tower to defuse the damage. His strike will leave behind some crystallized debris. He will cast both Earthen Shot and Wind Shot in either order. Earthen Shot will put spread apart markers on all players and cause the debris to explode. Everyone needs to get away from the debris and separate from each other to minimize the damage. Wind Shot puts donut AoEs on all players and damaging AoE on most of the floor. If everyone stacks on the debris, you will avoid both the donut AoEs and the ground AoE. After this, the debris will be gone and he will drop 3 lines of new crystal debris. He will cast Earthen Shot again, so players will need to avoid the lines and each other to minimize the damage. The line AoE will be several times larger than the size of the debris, so the AoE will cover most of the floor. Again, he will follow with Wind Shot, and again, players will need to stack on the debris. In this case, players can stack in 2 groups of 2 or 1 group of 4, either way works. With Seed Crystals, the boss will put spread apart markers on all players. Once it hits, all players will be locked in place and a crystal will grow over them. Target your crystal and attack it to prevent being encased in crystal and killed. Late in the fight, he will cast Sharpened Sights followed by 2 AoEs. One will be a large circle and the other a large donut. In both cases, there will be red eye markers and you will have to face away from the center to avoid the gaze. The third boss is Gurfurlur. He will cast Heaving Haymaker, which deals unavoidable damage to all players. Just heal through it. Then, as he casts Stonework, you will see a small square AoE, and above it either a fire glyph or a water glyph will appear. With fire, square AoEs will appear in stages that cover the whole floor, and at the same time, players will have spread apart markers. Just stand in one of the late appearing squares, then as soon as the previous ones go off, move into that space to wait out the rest, while avoiding other players. If the water glyph appears, there will be a knockback, so all players should move in the opposite direction of the arrows. This will prevent being knocked into the edge of the floor. Sledgehammer is a line stack marker, so everyone should stack in a line to defuse the damage. It will strike 3 times, so make sure you stay put until it's done. Next, the boss will cast Arcane Stomp, and damage buffs will flow toward him as orbs. Players need to run around and soak as many of these as possible, because if the boss gets too many of them, he will wipe the party with his follow-up attack, Enduring Glory. Late in the fight, he will cast Stonework with a Wind Glyph. This one will be followed by a Radial Knockback. Then tornadoes will spawn. Then a second Radial Knockback. Run to the center both times, and position yourself not to be knocked into the tornadoes. In a pinch, you can use knockback nullifying effects. He may also do one where the water and fire glyphs appear at the same time. In this case, you should run against the arrows again, but this time, position yourself in the middle of that edge so that when you're knocked back, you aren't blasted by fire. Then, separate from other players for the other AoEs. And that's it for Worqor Zormor. Good luck, have fun, and see you next time.